BPO3 is supported by Timber King Sawmills. For more information on my 1220 CRZ mill, or one of many Foley hydraulic options, go to timberking.com. Gracie, would you like me to throw your stick? Hand. Hand. Go get your stick. Alright, so Jamie's mule's not starting this morning, and this is our trash taker outermobile. So, you know, you have to have compression, you have to have spark, you have to have fuel, and you have to have air. So just the basics. You've got spark, took the spark plug out, checked spark, everything's fine. Turning it over with, you know, poor man's compression test. Stick my hand on the air intake and it almost painfully gets sucked in. So we've got some pretty decent compression. Air filter is in poor shape. I need a new air filter for sure. So there's that. So what's the final thing? Final thing is fuel. And I took the fuel line off, the fuel supply to the carburetor, turned the key, and I've got nothing. So I've got to test this fuel pump out with just a 12-volt battery and jump these off to see if it's actually trying to pump. If not, fuel pump. Easy peasy. But I also need a fuel filter. That's not confidence inspiring right there. Who knows if the inside looks just as bad as the outside. Anyway, detour. I got to get this thing going before I get back on the tractor. Trip to town. Delays. Distraction-filled morning. My brain hasn't been working lately. It just really hasn't. I don't know if it's just this annoying poison ivy distraction or what, but I'm not thinking clearly and making good decisions as much as I'd like to be anyway. The initial plan was to have the tractor over here to dig this little trench out, but that doesn't make any sense because if the tractor's here, then I have to put the waste on top of the rocks. Not those rocks, but these rocks. And that doesn't make any sense. So all of this has to be cleared out. I got to move the Jeep and the trailer, and then I can have the tractor over here digging a trench to put the waste over there. That makes the most sense. And that means also we're going to bring both trenches over to basically in line with the door and come this way. This is already the lowest point anyway. So let's get to work, Gracie. Let's get to work, okay? Actually, why am I picking that up? Hand. Good girl. I should really fix this trailer. There's always next year. One of these days I'll fix this trailer. One of these days. Straight back a little to the left. Got it. Oh, I got it all right. Straight forward. Perfect. Life before backup cameras.
I for one am never gonna change. Ever since I was a kid, knobby knees and lots of lip, I found it hard to listen when they told me to be quiet and to wait. I think they'd agree that's just not possible for me. I wanna shout, I wanna scream, I wanna dance, I wanna sing. I think you are just like me. Let's go see what we can see and sing a little louder for one.
Alrighty then. You know, I really do wish I had a mini excavator, but that bucket did a pretty darn good job, if I do say so myself. Got a nice trench all the way out to there where it connects into the ditch. I need to move some of these implements so I can finish that out just a little bit more, but it's good enough to get this end of the project done. So now I have to do shovel work, which isn't bad. I just stuck a shovel right there and it just, I mean, it slid down like butter, like cold butter, frozen butter. It's still butter. It's not quite hot knife through butter. That would be hydraulics, but it's still butter. My only concern now is to not hit the water line, which goes right there. So I'm thinking the water line is somewhere right here. I'm gonna go verify that with some photos before I really get too crazy with this shovel. And we're really getting close to connecting the dots. Nolly, please don't chew on that, bud. Don't chew on that, okay? Thank you. Well, I got one side connected. Now this is one of those universal adapters, 24-inch extension, and then we just connect to the normal pipe. Now this kind of snaps together, but I didn't want it to come apart while I was burying it, so I just wrapped it with some of that extreme duct tape, that black duct tape. That's not going to go anywhere, and once the ground cover is, well, once the ground is covering it, that's going to be fine. We're still pretty shallow. We'll be able to completely cover this, but we're pretty shallow, and that's going to be okay because there's going to be no traffic on this. Just on this side of the trench, I want to put some wood beams, kind of to act as, like, you know, curbs in a parking lot, right? Those little parking spacers or whatever, to stop people from driving this way. I never wanted any traffic this way, so I don't need this to be super deep. It's just irrigation anyway, or just getting the water out of here anyway. So I think 2 pipes should fit in here just fine. I took the other end of the pipe and stretched it all the way out to kind of get all the kinks out, and then brought it all the way back to this side over here. Once we get this side attached, wherever it terminates, I'm going to cut it in half, and that's where the end of the pipes are going to be. It should be on the other side of this corner. I'm hoping that it at least gets to the other side of the corner, then we'll be fine. You know, even if it is down here, which I think we have plenty enough length to where it's not going to be, that still should be fine. Again, this is not a traffic area. This is it's a boundary. Don't go past here anyway. Why don't you do the easy stuff real quick?
What's the easy stuff?
Take those 2 screws off, and you can see how I did this one here. You take this thing off the top of it. This is a universal adapter we don't need.
Okay.
But take the 2 screws off. You're going to need them, so don't lose them.
Okay.
And then get the other little flexi thingy, shove it up all the way around it, and put the screws through the sides. You'll see exactly where it is. Easy peasy. You'll figure it out.
Okay.
I'll do the hard stuff. You get the screws out? Mm-hmm. You just wiggle it and pound it down. It's got a compression fit.
Is this trash too now?
Nope. I think we did it.
I think we did too. I was going to say, you ready for me to start filling it in?
I think we did it. Huh? That can go that way. I'm going to scrunch this up so that that turn is a little less harsh. That looks better, but that is below dirt, which is also like 4 inches below grade. So all of that will be covered up just fine. Coming over to here, all this is just fine. Speaking of just fine, I made a boo-boo. I've said several times that the water, it's right there. So the water's like right here, right? Wrong, I just looked at some photos. The water's way over here, which is where I was digging with the tractor. So I got lucky. And you know what? I'm gonna take it. 2 4-inch lines. I was gonna put a Y right here and put 2 4s into 1 6, but the math worked out to where this was cheaper. So 2 4-inch lines. These are all going to be buried easily, and then I want to put beams on them. Like I said, beams will be on just on the right hand side according to this orientation, and I got enough pipe to come out this direction so we can start going through the ditch, or pointing it towards the ditch right off the roof, which is going to be good. Now all of this is really compacted, built up sand, which is, it's more like a clay type of a sand. It's not like what you'd picture as like beach sand. It's what is the most common or the called for material to build a foundation on for a slab foundation here in the south. Now I know a lot of you have been in the northern climates where you have to go, you know, 16,000 feet to get below the frost line. This is nothing, but sand compacted is just plenty enough for foundation. Well, I did that over here, and then I laid concrete washout on top. And this concrete washout, it does get dusty, but when it dries, I mean, it's washout concrete material, so it's hard. It's really hard, and I did not want to dig through any of this. So I don't have any concerns about this eroding away is what I'm trying to say. The majority of this water goes that way, although I probably should crown this a little bit, pull some of this material that way and build up a little bit, so we do have just a little bit going into this ditch and getting out. Anyway, that'll be only if problems arise, and so far this has been no problem whatsoever. So this should carry the water just fine and go all the way into the ditch. I don't know if I'm going to add some larger rock right here or what, or just see what it does without it. You know, I don't think I have to do any rock at all, because this ditch continues all the way around that 1.3 acres, and way over there is a culvert to get it to the other side where it drains off the rest of the property that way and then wraps around. So this has got a long ways to go for drainage, but it works, and it's all gravity. So if there's no rocks necessary in the rest of this ditch, I don't think there's any, like, you know, big wash off rocks. What are those called? Anyway, to slow down the flow. It's hot.
Good night, Mama. Night, Ben.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Good night, children.
Good night, Daddy. Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.
What's going on? I was asleep. What's everybody doing?
Good night,
Good night,
Jim
Jim
Bob.
Bob. Go back to sleep.